This is Mr. Eric Brinkman. He is with Clinton Refrigeration. He's going to talk to us about HVAC. So he's going to kind of just tell you his path, how to get involved, whatever certificate license that you need, and then whatever questions you have for him. Okay?
Ready? All right, so I'm Eric. My dad's had Clinton Refrigeration since 1980. When I was y'all's age, I would come to class, get out of class, and my dad would have stuff in my vehicle for me to go do in the afternoon. So I kind of grew up doing this. Graduated high school, I went to Hines because I thought I wanted to be an IT guy. Got my associates in electronics technologies, realized I hated computers. Just despise a computer. Like working on them, like all the stuff in it, but I didn't like the program and all that. Ended up at MC, got a degree in business, and because I was going to do something that I didn't sweat and I wasn't cold. By the time I graduated MC, I was making really good money doing this stuff, more money than all my friends were making that were leaving MC. And I stayed in this, and here I am. As far as getting into the air conditioning industry, couple ways. I get people that go to Hines, go to Diversitech, go to Holmes, do like the 2-year programs, the associate programs, and come to me. Most of the time, I'm going to tell you to go work for an air conditioning company for a little while. See if it's something you like, because when it's hot outside, we're hotter. And when it's cold outside, we're colder. So if it's hot, and it's hot in here, we're on the roof where it's way hotter. When it's cold in here in the wintertime, we're on the roof, we're out back, we're dealing with, if you're hot or cold, we're way worse than what you are. So get in for it a little while, work for somebody, and see if it's something you like. I enjoy it. Most people that work for me enjoy it. We're not going to an office, we're not going to a desk every day. We're all over the place. We're here. We're on roofs, we're Brandon, Madison, South Haven, we're all over the place working on things. So kind of wherever something's broke where they're fixing, or if they're building stuff, that's where we are. So it's not like go to a desk and sit there all day long. If you do get into it and you like it, but you don't like to sweat and don't like to wear jackets and get cold, we need people to sell us stuff. We call them counter guys. There's 24 supply houses just in Jackson that they stand behind the desk right there answering the phone calls, and hey, we need this part, and they look it up and they sell us the part. I get phone calls weekly of supply houses that are needing just counter guys, somebody to answer the phone and sell us the parts that we need. On the way over, I did talk to a guy that I got to meet tomorrow, and I asked him, I was like, what do counter guys make? And he goes, they usually start out in the 30,000 range, 30 to 35 range. So I asked him, he's got a guy working for him about 6 years, and I asked him how much he was making. He goes, he's making about 50 as a counter guy. When you get into the supply side and the counter guys, the guy I was talking to started off as a counter guy. Now he's a sales rep. So now he's making commission on what he sells. He goes, man, you make 100,000 or more type deal being a sales rep. A lot of it is personality, showing up, and being able to talk to people. On our end, if I hire somebody in high school, we're going to pay you a little over minimum wage type deal. But I've got guys for me that make anywhere from $45,000 to $110,000. So that's kind of a price range of what you could, make. And there's people that make more than that type deal. Just depends on where you're at and what kind of work you're doing. We do mostly residential stuff, so we're the guys that going into houses and fixing stuff. You also have commercial HVAC, which is what they have like at the school. They deal with bigger stuff. I'm not sure what maintenance guys, they're probably making in the 65 to 75,000 range type deal. As far as getting in, if you work for somebody for a couple months or years, what you want to do, there's Hines Community College has a 2-year program. There's Holmes has got a 2-year program. The guys that come from Holmes that are Hines that I hired, they know what this is. Anybody know what? If you're an auto mechanic, y'all know what these are. Gauges. They know what that is, but they don't know how it all operates. So if you're going to school, go to somewhere like Holmes or is it a Versatech? Something, huh? Delta Tech, yes, Delta Tech. We have a big supplier that's called Versatech. So Delta Tech, they've got a good program. I just sent a guy, been working with me for a couple years, to a class in Texas for 1 month. It was a 7:30 to 5:30 every day of the week with homework for 1 whole month, like a crash course type deal, over in Dallas, Texas. And he went over because he's worked with me for a few years. And, you know, he's like, I know this stuff. And he went over, and the second day he called me up and was like, oh my goodness, like this is a ton of stuff that they're learning. Like he got to, working for us, he got to see what's broken, how we fix it. When he went to school, he learned what causes stuff to break. So he was like, this was pretty awesome. So there's anything from a 2-year courses to 1 month and 2-month courses that you could go through. If you work for a company and they like you, they'll send you these 1-month courses, usually for free. Like, hey, they like you, we like you, you got potential. We'll pay you to go through a 1-month course to learn what we need you to learn and to better yourself. What's some other stuff? Y'all got any questions? Not yet? Okay. This is stuff we deal with. We deal with a little bit of electricity because air conditioners run on electricity. Y'all have met Paul LaValle. He does nothing but electrical stuff. So we've got to deal with a little bit of electrical because we got to hook up to the electrical stuff. We deal with a little bit of plumbing because you know how a glass sweats and you set a coaster up under it so it doesn't sweat and get all over the table? Well, when we run air conditioners, all the humidity in the air, we make gallons of water an hour. Like if you got a glass sweating, figure that sweat, like gallons of sweat an hour. So that goes down the drain, it stops up, we come in. So we got to know a little bit about plumbing. We got to know a little bit about air conditioning. Plumbers don't know about air conditioning. Electricians don't know about it. So we're a little bit more diversified. So we got to know a little bit of everybody's field to be able to make all of our stuff work right. Tools that we use, if you're a nurse, check blood pressure and take blood. Well, this is our blood pressure. We check pressures on everything, our temperatures, and that's kind of how we know how your unit's doing. This is a small, anybody know what this is? So this is actually propane. It is propane, but we deal with big bottles of this stuff that is refrigerant. And you are correct, because most all your new refrigerators you buy run on propane. They use propane as the refrigerant because it's really awesome. It's green and it's cold. It just goes boom real easy. We deal with meters all the time, so we always checking power. This is like between this and this is my most used set of tools. Got to be a respectful electricity, but not scared of it because we're constantly checking for power. And then we tote, and we actually weighed them the other day. We carry between a 25 and a 35 pound bag of tools everywhere we go. We had a discussion just the other day, like how much a bag weighs. So we went out and we weighed everybody's bag. But it is full of just everything we need to do our job as far as being able to take panels off, check stuff, put it back together. Y'all got anything? Has anybody worked on any air conditioning? And y'all said y'all were in automobiles. Have y'all worked on any car air conditioning? Okay, so we deal with expansion valves daily. Anybody else? So do y'all get to mess with Freon in class, or do y'all have to let Eric do that? So he kind of lets you a little bit. So as you get in, for us to be able to work with Freon drums, we've got to have an EPA license. Y'all know what the EPA stands for? That's it. So we got to have a little card that says we know how not to improperly vent this stuff into the atmosphere because they say this is eating up the ozone and we're going to get seam cancer and, well, yeah. So going to school, you'll learn how all this stuff works. But the biggest part of it is being able to have your EPA license so that you can buy the Freon or refrigerants and use it. Years ago, we had 1 or 2 refrigerants. Nowadays, we have a dozen different refrigerants. As scientists figure out that refrigerants are bad for the environment, they develop new refrigerants. And then when they develop the new ones, they figure out that those are bad, so they develop new refrigerants. So if you ever see an air conditioner truck and it's got like a rainbow of these drums on the back of it, we've got different refrigerants for different applications, freezers, ice makers, walk-in coolers. And then when we get into house stuff, we've got 5 different refrigerants that we use on your house. So in automobiles, y'all use typically what?
Yeah, 134A and
134.
And YF.
1, 2, 3, 4 Y?
And the 134A.
And then the old stuff that they used was 12. So you're already to 3 refrigerants. So when we deal with it, we've got 22, we deal with 12, 407, 409, 410, 454, 32, and there's more. There's a ton. So that's part of the EPA license too, is knowing what all the refrigerants do, what applications they're for.
So Eric, I was gonna say Ace, I'm gonna call you out. She looked at me like, we'll kill you, Coach Carter. But she went through, we have what we call reconnect and step up programs.
Yeah.
And they can go to class, usually at night. She went through the homes.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hyman, was he your, professor, teacher? But she went through, they get paid $10 an hour to go to class and they learn about HVAC and all
Oh,
that.
cool.
So she finished the program there. How was it?
It was fun. We did actually spend most of the night, like, not in the classroom, like, actually working on stuff.
Like out and about?
Yeah.
On campus?
But it wasn't really, like, too in-depth. Like, we learned how to, like, plumb the refrigerant and, like, retrieve it, and how to read the gauges,
Mm-hmm.
and how to write a report, and how to braze. It's like all the basic stuff. We never.
How not to burn the building down when you're brazing.
And y'all actually have to do those things, right? Hands-on. Did you get any certifications through that at all?
The only certificate I got was the HVAC basic certificate, which basically says, oh, I know how to light a torch. Oh, I know what these things mean. I know what that is.
So years ago, I growing up doing it, I knew what that is. And y'all know, any of y'all know what is that?
Flathead.
Flathead screwdriver. A lot of our guys that we were getting out of school, like high school kids, did not know what a flathead screwdriver were. Like it was like basic tools, a flathead screwdriver.
Needle nose pliers.
Needle nose. We're getting a little more technical on needle nose. And then, look at there. Y'all are like better than most. Y'all are better than most. Like I was learning that like a lot of people don't know what just basic tools are. So part of our job application is a picture test per se that has a picture of a screwdriver, a pair of pliers, needle nose, a shop vac. I'm like, how do you not know? Did you not vacuum? Oh, wow. Good. Oh, well. And then a torch, a tape measure. So a lot of, and how to read the tape measure. So that was, we actually had to had my sister put a little sheet together. So if you didn't know what this stuff was, oh my goodness.
So when you fill out your application, I don't let you have a cell phone. You cannot take the application with you. You have to sit at our desk and do it.
Yeah.
Cheat. Yep.
Can't cheat. Try not to cheat. So that is, there was a lot of high school kids that we would hire for summertime. And if anybody want to do air conditioning in the summertime, come by, give us fill out an application. We're always hiring guys for just the summertime type deal because we are busier in the summertime than we are through the winter. So if it's something you think you want to do, come by, fill out an application. We'll work you through the summer. And by the end of summer, you can be like, I am not sweating anymore. Or like little Eric, he said, I'm going to work on cars in an air conditioned room. So, yeah.
Y'all gonna train them?
Do what?
Y'all gonna train them?
Do they need any prior knowledge?
So if you're in high school, no. Your biggest job in high school you'll get put up with a head technician, and what he's going to do is boss you around all day long. He's going to say, grab my gauges and grab my tool bag. And you're going to build up some guns toting these things around all day long for him. While he sits there and actually fixes, he's going to have you, hey, run back to the truck and get that drum of Freon. Run over here and get this. While I'm sitting here doing stuff, he's going to have you just kind of going back and forth. But they'll sit around and they'll let you, hey, you've been doing this a couple weeks. Why don't you put Freon in it? Why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you put these wires together? So, yeah, you'll start off as just his helper, getting his stuff, making sure, clean his truck out type deal from all the stuff in the morning. But as you're working all day long, he'll show you, hey, what am I doing? And then y'all will get into like expansion valves and complex stuff that he's starting to like have to think, this ain't right, what we got going on. And for us, a lot of times to be able to talk to somebody, hey, I've got this pressure with this, and you're trying to look at it, and then when you start explaining something to somebody, it's bad, ain't it? He's gonna bounce these ideas off of you as he's trying to teach you, because I'm a firm believer, you don't know what you know until you start teaching somebody. When you start teaching somebody, you realize what you don't know.
So when you go to Hines, that's what we were saying, they have no hands-on experience in the field.
So somebody raised their hand. Yeah.
What you were saying, I know Mr. Hyman was saying that a lot. He said, I need to make sure you all know what this is and what this does, because he said that they were getting on to them about how y'all sending kids out of school and they don't know anything.
Uh-huh.
A lot of life work, they don't know what this is. And so that was like a lot of things that he was harping on when he was teaching us how to do stuff and how to do it properly.
Mm-hmm. And
It's not business that he is still involved in HVAC.
oh, cool. So,
Mr. Eric,
hey, Isaac.
what happens if you hit your AC unit with your lawnmower?
So, how bad did you hit it?
I wasn't paying attention, and I almost hit my AC unit with the lawnmower.
So, I've seen people bump an air conditioner, and if you look at it, we can call it the hail guard. Like it's got that little, the rain kind of, so it's got the little louver. So if you bend that little outer metal, you didn't do nothing. Now, if you hit it hard enough, that inside that unit is a bunch of copper tubes that are about that big around. So if you hit it a little harder and you actually bend those tubes, because the refrigerant's flowing through tubes like this, because what we're doing is transferring heat. We're absorbing heat from in here. We are taking it outside and we're releasing the heat. We repressurize the refrigerant, make it hot, make it cold, bring it back inside. We absorb heat again. We go outside, release it. If you bend this tube or you kink that tube, then that refrigerant can't flow. And if the refrigerant can't flow, that's bad. The other thing, I've had people hit their air conditioner with the lawnmower. So if it's sitting on your house and you look at it and there's a little copper pipe and a big copper pipe and then a little wire and a big wire going to it. So it's sitting on this nice little plastic pad that's not, it's kind of slick. So if you hit it and you actually bend the unit sideways and you kink that copper tube because the unit did like that, that's bad too. That's bad.
And weed eating.
Weed eaters. So there's some little wire, there's the two pipes, the big pipe and the little wire. It is consistently on Saturday morning when people are weed eating around their air conditioner, they'll chop that wire. Now that's a Saturday service call and we come out and fix it, and then I've had actually people quit mowing their yard and hire a lawn maintenance company after they paid that bill for us to just come put those two little wires back together.
And then they call after hours for the lawn company because they have to pay the bill then.
Yeah. So yeah, do not hit your air conditioner. Like stay away from it. It can be a scuff mark and you're fine, or you can actually cause yourself a few $1,000s in damage. Yes. A few $1,000s in damage, quick like. A lot of the times I'll tell people to just round up or weed killer around their air conditioner type deal so that they don't have to get close to it with a lawnmower or a weed eater or something like that. Yeah. You don't think you did $1,000 worth of, or you were just close. Okay.
Y'all have any questions? Y'all can come up after.
Yeah, I'll hang out here for a little bit. Hey, little Eric.